Hai everyone.
Hai.
Kami dari kelompok 3, yaitu dengan judul novel The Lion, The Witch, and the Wardrobe, atau yang biasa kita nonton sebagai Narnia. Sebelumnya perkenalkan, nama saya Berita Widiawantana dengan NIM C1D1 22052 sebagai Lucy dan narator. Dan teman saya
Ruslan dengan NIM C1D1 22009 sebagai Edman.
Saya Didi Trisati dengan NIM C1D1 22055 sebagai Peter.
Dan terakhir saya Asma Husna dengan NIM C1D1050 sebagai Susan.
Once there were 4 children whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. The story is about something that happened to them when they were sent away from London during the war because of the air raids. They were sent to the house of an old professor who lived in the heart of the country, 10 miles from the nearest railway station and 2 miles from their house, with a housekeeper called Miss McCready and 3 servants. Their names were Ivy, Margaret, and Betty, but they did not come into the stories so much. He himself was a very old man with shaggy white hair, which grew over most of his face as well as on his head, and they liked him almost at once. But on the first evening, when he came out to meet them at the front door, he was so odd-looking that Lucy, who was the youngest, was a little afraid of him, and Edmund, who was the next youngest, wanted to laugh and had to keep on pretending he was blowing his nose to hide it. As soon as they had said good night to the professor and gone upstairs on the first night, the boys came into the girls' room and they all talked it over.
We have fallen on our feet and no mistake. This is going to be perfectly splendid. That our chef will let us do anything we like.
I think it's an ordeal,
Said Susan.
Oh, come on.
Said Edmund, who was tired and pretending not to be tired, which always made him bad tempered.
Mom, the only talking about that.
That's what? Says anyway, it's time to roll in bed.
Trying to tell me that mother. And who are you to say that I need to go to with yourself?
Hadn't we all better to go to bed? Said Lucy. There's sure to be wrong if you're heard talking here.
No, there won't. I tell you, this is the sort of house where no one's going to mind what you do. Anyway, they won't hear us. It's about 10 minutes. Walk from here down to the dining room and any amount of stairs and passage in between.
What's that noise? Said Lucy suddenly. It was the 4 largest house that she had ever been in before, and the thought of all those long passages and row of doors leading to empty rooms was beginning to make her feel a little creepy.
It's only a good sleep.
It's an owl.
Said Peter.
This is going to be a wonderful place for girls. I shall be told right now. I say, let's go and explore tomorrow. You might find anything in a place like this. Did you see that mountains as we came along? In the woods? There might be eagles. There might be snakes. There will be hawks.
Backwards. Said
Oxys.
Peter.
Rabbits.
But when next morning came where a steady rain falling so thick that when you looked out of the window you could see neither the mountains nor the woods nor even the stream in the garden.
Of course, it won't be
for them. A long room with two windows looking out in one direction and two in another.
Stop drawing at 10 to 1 will clear up in an hour or so, and in the meantime, we're pretty well off. There's wireless and loads of books.
Not for me. I'm going to explore in this house.
Everyone agreed to this, and that was how the adventures began. It was for sort of house that you never seem to come to the end of, and it was full of unexpected things. The first few doors the child led only into spare bedroom, as everyone had expected that they would, but soon they come to a very long room full of creatures, and there were a suit of armor, and after that was a ring all room with all hung with green. Step up and then a kind of British upstairs head, and doors that went out on the balcony, and the whole story series of rooms that helped into each other and were blind books. Most of them very loose, old books, and some bigger than the Bible in the church. And suddenly, after that, they looked into the room that was quite empty except for one big wardrobe. The sort of looking glass in the door. There was nothing else in the room at all, except a dead blue bottle on the windows.
Nothing there.
And they all dropped out there, all except Lucy. She stayed behind because she thought that it would be worthwhile trying the door and of the wardrobe, even though she felt almost sure that it would be locked. To her surprise, it opened up quite easily, and two mud balls dropped out. Looking into the inside, she was several coats hanging up, mostly of fur coats. There was nothing Lucy liked so much as the smell and feel of fur. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe, got in among the coats and rubbed her face against them, leaving the room open, the door open, of course, because she knew that it very foolish to shut oneself into any wardrobe. She took a step further in, then two trips that always expected feel woodward again to the tips of her fingers, but she could not feel it. This must be a simply enormous wardrobe, thought Lucy, going to further and pushing herself forward and the house aside to make room for her. Then she noticed that there was something crunching underneath her feet. I wonder, is that a mud monster? Suppose? She thought that, stooping down to feel it with her hand, but instead of feeling the heart, smooth wood on the floor that wardrobe, she felt something soft and powdery, extremely cold. This is very queer, she said and went on the step or two further. Next moment she found that she was rubbing against her face, and hands was no longer soft fur, but something hard and raw, even prickly. Why, it is just the branches of trees, exclaimed Lucy, and then she saw that there was light ahead of her. Not a few inches away with the back of the wardrobe out to have been, but a long way off. Something cold and soft was falling on her. A moment later, she found that she was standing in the middle of the roof. A night time with snow under her feet and snowflakes falling through the air. Lucy felt a little frightened, but she felt inquisitive and excited as well. It seemed to be still daylight there. I can almost bet if anything goes what's wrong? Thought Lucy. She began to walk forward, crunch over the snow, and wood towards of the lights. In about 10 minutes she reached it and found a lamppost. As she stood looking at it, wondering why a lamppost in the middle of the wood, and wondering that what do they do next. From the waist upwards, he was like a man. He was only a little taller than Lucy herself, and he carried over his head an umbrella. White with snow from the waist upwards, he was like a man, and his legs shaped like glass. The hair on them was glossy, and instead of it, he had goat's wool. He also had a tail, but Lucy didn't notice at first because it was neatly cut out over the arm, and that held the umbrella so as to keep it from trailing, was very useful. He had a straight but plain little face with a short pointed red and curly hair, and out the hair that stuck held the umbrella. White with the parcels and snow, it looked just as if he had been doing his Christmas shopping. He was found, and when he was Lucy, he gave such a start of surprise that he dropped all his parcels.
Goodness gracious me.
Exclaimed the fawn.